Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 2nd of 2022, and as we get closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, a lot of Star Wars fans around the world are truly looking forward to many other Star Wars shows such as the Ahsoka Tano series, the Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, as well as a lot of other shows coming our way that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration this year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, as we look to the future of the franchise, we have a lot of things coming our way with TV shows, movies, books, novels, comics, and video games, and a lot more to really satisfy the hardcore, casual, and even new Star Wars fans at that. You know, we have George, John, and Dave doing their thing with the Mandoverse at large, as well as working on different eras of the franchise. We also have, of course, Kathleen Kennedy working on two Star Wars projects that really a lot of fans are not really looking forward to that much. That, of course, is the Acolyte TV show and Project Vortex, which is basically going to be Stranger Things in space, to say the least. That's going to feature, of course, Padawans traveling across the galaxy during the events of the High Republic. Now, moving on beyond all of this, alright, one thing that a lot of fans have really loved is the addition of Ahsoka Tano, portrayed by Rosario Dawson ever since she made her debut in The Mandalorian Season 2 back in 2020, and now we have her, of course, in the Book of Boba Fett, and we're going to have her again in the Ahsoka Tano series and other Star Wars projects. So this is what I mean by how John and Dave are really trying to expand these characters big time, and they're almost giving them the Marvel treatment. So with that being said, however, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with Kathleen Kennedy's stance on Rosario Dawson and exactly what's happening behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm with all of this. Now, on top of all of that, with Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars universe with new shows and movies on the horizon, creators, of course, John and Dave Filoni are also working on the new Star Wars projects that will be announced at this year's celebration. Now, it's described, however, that currently behind the scenes, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy has been having issues with actress Rosario Dawson over her take on the new characters, and that character in particular. It's described that Kathleen Kennedy has been calling for Rosario Dawson to be replaced from the Star Wars TV shows that are being created by John and Dave Filoni, as Kathleen Kennedy believes that she was the wrong choice right from the very beginning. Kennedy's reason for wanting to fire Dawson as the role of Ahsoka is said to be rooted to multiple things, one of which being that Rosario Dawson keeps her distance from some of the very judgmental employees and creatives that are closer to Kathleen Kennedy and more in line with her view of Star Wars. Now, let me just stop right there for 1 second. Now, that is very smart of Rosario Dawson to stay away from creators or employees of Lucasfilm like that. A great example is Freddie Prinze Jr. You know, that's a guy that said he was laughing over the fact of how Gina Carano got fired. I mean, he openly said this on Twitter. It cannot be made up. It's on there. And Freddie Prinze Jr. had no remorse saying that. So you can see, you know, how Lucasfilm kind of operates with some of their employees over there, and they really have and hold no remorse absolutely whatsoever. So this is very smart on Rosario Dawson's part to kind of just stick to herself, focus on the job, focus on her work, and really trying to do her best performance. And that's all that really matters, you know, making the fans happy and really making, you know, the best of your character on screen. That's all that really matters. You know, there's no reason to go into these inner employee squabbles and all these different, you know, grudges against each other. I mean, it's just nonsense, to be, you know, truthful to you guys. So beyond all of that, alright, another is that Kathleen Kennedy believes that Rosario's version of Ahsoka Tano is completely inaccurate compared to the animated version, and is even going as far to blame Dave Filoni on making unnecessary changes to the live-action version of the character, such as with the change of the Montrails that Kennedy does not understand. One other example is that Rosario Dawson is said to have a grudge against Kathleen Kennedy for firing Gina Carano in such a terrible way, and views the company of Lucasfilm as a very judgmental place that takes advantage of certain actors and situations, something that Rosario Dawson stays away from and sticks closer to those like John and Dave Filoni. Now, Rosario has not, of course, had much time with Kathleen Kennedy either, which Kennedy finds to be very offensive, as if Rosario Dawson wants nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy, in which that is actually the case. Originally, Kennedy wanted actress Brie Larson, believe it or not, to portray Ahsoka Tano before she was implanted into the High Republic shows, such as, of course, the Acolyte TV show. This was Kathleen's dream actress to portray the character of Ahsoka Tano, and something that never happened once the Disney higher-ups knew that this would be a very terrible idea to do. Now, since then, Kennedy has been trying to get Rosario Dawson fired over the most petty reasons. Now, once again, they did the same exact thing with Gina Carano. I'm not even talking about what she wrote on social media. There were a lot of things before that Kathleen Kennedy and many of the creators and employees over at Lucasfilm were trying to find ways to fire Gina Carano just because. The just because reason, alright? Now, that obviously goes to show you that just they don't like her way of life, they don't like her belief system, whatever she believes in, whatever it may have been. They didn't like Gina Carano just because. And that's how Lucasfilm operates with a lot of other people that work there or are a part of these new Star Wars shows and or films, is that you have certain actors on board that don't get along with other actors. And that seems to be a bigger trend than any other production company that I have seen in the film industry. When you look at everything on a broad scale, it's definitely Lucasfilm at the top. I mean, there's no question about it. I don't know why, it was like this from the very beginning when Disney took over, but it is. And that's exactly how it is. And that's exactly what John and Dave are trying to clean up right now. So, past all of this as well, alright? Even in present time, as they are getting ready to begin shooting the Ahsoka Tano show for Disney+, she believes that Rosario needs to step up her acting style, and that Disney is overestimating the fan support for Rosario's version of Ahsoka, when in reality, almost everybody seems to support Rosario's take on the character, especially given the fact that she does not, of course, do many of her own stunts and does some of the stunts. Kathleen also does not support the fact that Rosario Dawson does some of her own stunts, and believes that she needs to be replaced with someone else that uses more stunt doubles. Kennedy has been requesting all of this constantly to Disney's higher-ups, and they are, of course, not listening to Kennedy at all, as they are smart enough and know if they fired Rosario Dawson, it would only cause massive backlash from the fans. And that's a very good example there. We all know what happened with, what Rian Johnson did to The Last Jedi, and if this were to happen, it would be like 3 times as bad as that, in my opinion. If you fired somebody like this, or if Kathleen Kennedy convinced the Disney higher-ups to fire Rosario Dawson over the most petty reasons of all, you would really see a big backlash from the fans that you would have never have seen before. And that's exactly what Disney does not want right now. So far they're doing pretty okay with the Mandoverse. They had a little speed bump with the Book of Boba Fett, but everything else seems to be working in motion and working very well. Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 is great. We have, of course, the Ahsoka series on the way. Mando Season 3 is done filming, and Mando Season 4 is in the early development phase. So there's a lot of things coming our way for this year and next year, so keep your eyes open for that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this entire situation between Kennedy and Rosario. What are your thoughts on Rosario's version of Ahsoka Tano? Would love to hear that below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.